This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, back by popular demand, Daniel Greenfield, a Shillman Fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and the writer of the blog The Point at frontpagemag.com. Daniel, welcome back to the Glazov Gang.
Thank you very much for having me back on the Glazov Gang.
Thank you, Daniel. Quite an eventful time with the Trump video, and then right after that, the debate with Hillary Clinton, and so much to talk about, but this is what I want to talk about this evening. During that debate, Hillary said, oh, thank goodness somebody like Trump is not the president or the leader, and he said, yeah, because you would be in jail. And I clapped when I heard him say that. And what's so interesting, but typical, the whole media is talking about, Trump, he's like he thinks it's a banana republic, he's going to jail his political opponent, but they're missing out a little detail. She's a criminal who belongs in jail. So this evening, exactly why Hillary belongs in jail. Daniel Greenfield, you are the expert on this matter. Why?
Well, you know what to start with, if we were going to talk about what a banana republic is, when the former leader's wife runs for president, purely based on her last name, and is close to getting the job, that is a banana republic. That is far more of a banana republic than anything else. And now going back all the way to, you can go back to Whitewater, you can go back to the Hillary cattle futures trading scandal. Really, the criminal case against Hillary goes back generations at this point, which is a really insane number right there. We're talking decades and decades and decades of this. And this reads up right all the way up to now, the email scandal. And in between, we're getting all sorts of really new breaking information coming out, including some of what they did in Haiti. The Clinton Foundation, they really committed horrible things, including basically ripping off aid money and funneling it to their donors. So there's just a long train of abuses going back decades, culminating right now where Hillary just actively worked to dodge transparency regulations. In the process, she exposed classified information. She illegally abused classified information. And again, speaking of Banana Republic, the FBI gave her a pass on it. Not only did the FBI give her a pass on it, but the FBI actually colluded with members of her staff to cover up and conceal information, right down to destroying some of the information as part of their so-called deals that they made with Clinton staffers, including Cheryl Mills.
Okay, let's begin here with just the top number one. So there's the top 10 reasons. Let's begin with the biggest reason, and let's say hypothetically that there turned out to be a trial. Hillary's on trial. There's a jury, and they bring in Daniel Greenfield. What would you say is the number one reason she belongs in jail, and how would you educate the jury?
I mean, the biggest overall issue is still corruption. It's still trading political connections for financial gain. That's really the overall theme that's run through her entire history, all the way back to Arkansas, going back to the White House where she was in there with Bill Clinton, going over to her time as Secretary of State when Clinton Foundation donors were just getting a direct pass through to what they wanted, going back to right now where she really aggressively raised huge amounts of money with speaking fees that were effectively illegal campaign contributions, all premised on her getting into the White House. So really the overall theme in her political life, and there have been a lot of things on the side, I mentioned a few of them beforehand. Really, the overall theme has been illegally accepting money in exchange for favors. That's the major dominant theme of the Clintons. This is corruption.
Okay, and let's say number two, the national security issue of these emails and then deleting these emails. What would you say about that to the jury?
This is a really very deliberate attempt to dodge transparency. Again, this is the Clintons, even before email, had a long history of cover-ups. They had a long history of really just abusing their position to do that. So this really, again, goes back all the way. For example, let's take the Vince Foster suicide. People remember the Vince Foster suicide. What did they do right afterward? They went into his office and cleaned out his files. This is something they did right afterward. So this is really just the way they operate. You have Sandy Berger going in to testify before the 911 Commission, and then he stops off to steal some classified documents and shove them into his socks to cover up what the Clintons didn't do about terrorism.
Daniel, so you believe Hillary belongs in jail, correct?
There's really no question about it.
Do you think that Bill Clinton belongs in jail?
Obviously, I mean, this is part and parcel of the whole thing. They both headed up the Clinton Foundation. They both made whatever arrangements they did. So for a while, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State and Bill Clinton wasn't. But the practical issue is it was very much a team effort, just like it was when Bill Clinton was in the White House.
Do you think Obama belongs in jail?
Well, with Obama, there's an even more serious case. I mean, there's certainly a corruption case, but with Obama, really the overriding theme there is just straight up treason.
And expand on that. What would you say one or two reasons in terms of treason?
Well, some of the issues also apply to Hillary, but the core dominant theme is really what Obama has done to empower Islamic terrorism, what he's done to empower Iran, what he's done to really free pretty much most of the Gitmo inmates, what he's done to empower Islamic terrorists in Syria and Iraq, what he's done to really put the Muslim Brotherhood in charge in Egypt and across the Middle East, what he's done to aid Islamic terrorist uprisings in Yemen, really in Israel, and just really across the region. The entire Arab Spring is effectively his work, and the result was ISIS taking over cities in Iraq, taking over cities in Libya, his illegal war in Libya. By the way, again, there's a straightforward crime. He lied to the American people about it. He lied to the UN about it. He lied to everyone about it. He launched a war that the American people and the Congress very definitively opposed.
Daniel, in terms of everything you're saying, you know, there's such a tragedy in our government, in our culture. Everything you're saying, I mean, this is such serious stuff, and such a large percentage of our time in the media is spent beating up on Trump about these jokes he said on this bus 12 years ago with Billy Bush or whatever happened in that video. Just in terms of the level of importance of what we should be really worried about. Your thoughts on that?
Well, the media these days has excelled very much at emphasizing the trivial, at focusing our attention on complete utter nonsense, and we effectively have the Kardashian political culture where the focus is on personalities over issues. We're really becoming incapable of actually discussing issues, of actually discussing what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on with our education policy, what's going on with national security. Instead, the media has made us much more comfortable of just living in this kind of reality show where the emphasis is not on what's actually going to happen to us a year from now or 6 months from now, but the emphasis is on, look what he said about her and she said about him and he said about her and she said about him, which is really this is not even political coverage. It's just a reality show. It's just gossip.
You know, I found it also interesting how Hillary, in that first debate and then coming out in the second debate and bringing up this personal stuff against Trump, and then all of a sudden when Trump succeeded in putting her on the defensive, she said that, you know, Michelle Obama or something said, when they go low, we go high. I mean, this was very absurd in the sense that she was the one that was casting the mud. What did you think of that moment?
Well, the media has this fun double standard. So when Trump talks about Bill Clinton's rapes, then the media says he's going into the gutter. He's just climbing into the gutter. It's disgusting. He's going into the gutter. When Hillary Clinton and her people employ the Trump tapes, then of course she's winning the debate. So this is the fun double standard. It's the fun double standard the media has. It's the fun double standard that the left always has, which is that they're entitled to do anything they want, and those opposed to them are not entitled to do anything at all.
What is on your mind right now in terms of where we stand in terms of the race for the president, where the polls stand, Trump, Hillary, everything that's going on? What's on your mind tonight?
I would think that really this race is going to come down to people having to make a decision whether they really want more of the continuation of the Obama years, and whether they're just really going to be distracted into letting that happen, whether they're going to be just distracted by the flood of salacious material that the media is running, or whether they're going to say, I'm afraid about my job, I'm afraid I'm actually unemployed and I want a job, or I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job, the economy is shaky, we seem to be losing to Islamic terrorists, we're having more and more terrorism in our own soul, and we need a change. That's really the fundamental question here.
Daniel Greenfield, if Hillary wins, what are, let's say, the top 3 frightening, scary, catastrophic things that she may do or that may happen under her administration, in your view?
Well, first of all, she was even more enthusiastic about the Arab Spring than Obama was. So we can look forward to a redoubling of that, which means trying to force out Egypt's government and replace them with the Muslim Brotherhood, growing alliance with the Muslim Brotherhood via Huma Abedin. Two, certainly economic. Hillary Clinton, aside from everything else, is taking a whole bunch of money from a whole bunch of people, and they have various agendas, and those agendas are going to be very bad for our economy, they're going to be very bad for America, and they're going to have serious economic consequences. Three, really, American people have already lost faith in government. They've lost faith in politics. And really, even if Hillary Clinton wins, it's going to be because it's not going to be because the people love her, because there's any kind of mandate there. So people are going to become more disgusted with politics. They're going to come around effectively to the idea that government is something to be disrespected, that we really should not have any trust at all in our government, and we're going to see an increase in lawlessness and corruption in every day, just everybody out for himself. Really, it's the collapse of America.
Catastrophic, frightening times. Daniel Greenfield, thank you so much for your truth-telling and, of course, for coming on the Glazov Gang.
Thank you very much for having me on one more time.
Thank you, Daniel. And thank you for joining us. Please remember, we are a fan-generated program. We need your help at jamieglazov.com. Please support the show and make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel of the Glazov Gang. We'll see you soon. Good night.